we have an ongoing live training course started last Monday. It's going to go on for like 2 months. So if you would like to join it, you're not late for that. If you would like to join it, send me a Skype message at MANGAL457 for details on how you can join. Good afternoon, traders. My name is Anil Mangal, and the method we use is called wave analysis. What we do is we train traders how to analyze the chart, how to take advantage of the analysis, and how to make successful trades. So if that's something you would like to learn, send me a message. We'll go ahead with that. Today, I'm going to go through very quick the majors for you, some of the cryptos and some of the indices. The full list of everything you have here, every single thing you see here, we do in our trading room. If you would like to have access to the live sessions we do in the trading room, you could either join the group full time and be trained, immediately be trained now. That's a training course that does once or twice a year, not more than that. Since I know myself, it has never been more than 2 times a year. Or if you cannot afford the course, and I think I mentioned once, for a cup of coffee, you will get 1 hour of free live sessions trading. Now, one guy wrote me and said, I heard you said your course is $4, so I'd like to join. So let me just clear that up. When I said a cup of coffee, which is equivalent of about $4 or $5, I mean, for every session, we do on an average 4-5 sessions a day, live sessions. Each session go from an average of 1 hour to 2 hours. And that is sessions that I am normally in. I am normally in about 3 or 4 of those sessions. There are extra sessions that my traders are in the room. They would be there before me in the Asian session, and they will be there in the room after I left for the New York session. These are all live trading sessions. So you can join any of those sessions if you have access to the group. Now, if you're paying an installment, and by installment, I mean installment, you cannot afford to pay for the full course, so you're going to pay partially for it, however you would like to pay that partially, starting from $100 a month, not less than that. So what I did is I said, okay, just imagine you're paying $100 a month for an average of 2 sessions a day, multiply by 5, multiply by 4, right? So you would get about 40 sessions a month for that $100, which means in 40 sessions, you should be able to make $100, basically. And then you can continue to be in that installment program. Now, the money for the installment is paying for the course. It's not for those live sessions. Those live sessions are free. But you only get access to them if you intend in taking the course. So if you show us your intention in taking the course by paying for the installment program, we will accept you in the group to watch 2 of those sessions a day. You'll watch the New York Open and the London Open. We do more than that, but you would have access to 2 of them. You also do get access to some of the news events that we trade. Most of the traders who are in the installment program will tell you that, which are extra to what I'm not even counting. So when I said for a cup of coffee, you can access the course, I mean for a cup of coffee a day, depending on how long you want to pay. There are traders who started paying $100, and within a couple of months, they pay out the full sum. There are traders who are paying it in $500 a month. So in just a couple of months, they would have access to the full course. It's up to you how you can afford to pay. And there are many traders who are paying the full sum because they know the worth of what they're getting. Once you've completed that, you would have lifetime access to the group for free. I would charge you nothing else. The only thing you'll be paid for is $4 a month for the platform you're using. That doesn't go to me. Okay, with that, let's start. Dollar index. Dollar index still has a pattern on the daily. On the daily, there's still no pattern completed, not even a single pattern. So we still have a lot of pieces here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're making a 6th one. Now, either we break this low or we go back and break this top, and then we will see our first pattern. We had this as a possibility for a contracting flat, and it still might be a contracting flat, but we can only confirm that when we break out of the structure. We can only confirm that that is a contracting flat on the breakout. That doesn't mean we don't trade it, because we don't trade on the daily. We trade inside the daily patterns. As a matter of fact, we trade inside of the 4-hour patterns and inside of the 1-hour patterns. So in terms of trading, no problem, right? Good. So what we're looking for is that you have an impulse, you have a correction, you're getting another impulse. And all of that is within this 1, 2, 3. So there's a very, very high probability that we're going to see this go back up as a 1, 2, 3. It still is possible. As long as you have this big consolidation at the top here, that is possible. Now, in rare cases, this might be all a correction. That's a big one at the top there, and then you just make a consolidation here and drop, consolidation and drop, consolidate and drop, and we break out of the low. And if we do that, we will go with the contracting flat. Or we just come here, break this low, and go right back up, and then come down. So the way of how this pattern could develop could vary, and there are many, many, many variations of how it could develop. And that's one of the things we teach in the trading course, how to recognize the possibility of a variation coming, how to understand how to trade whatever variation is going to come. So what would be a sell setup for us? Well, give us a flag and we'll sell. Give us a correction and we'll sell. What would be a buy setup? Monday morning, we get a spike here, we get a flag, and we start to buy. If I'm going to sell, I at least want a consolidation that will give me an impulse to the downside. Basically, it looks easy. I know that looks pretty, oh, well, let's just wait for a flag and sell. The problem with that is that not all flags at the bottom here you should sell. And a lot of traders try to do that, get trapped, get tagged in a small flag at the bottom, watch it reverse, starts to go to the top, end up losing a lot of money and say, well, this whole thing is not working. And that's, if you're in the course right now, you would already know the solution to that, because what we're showing you is where and when to take trades. We're a good place to take trades and we're a bad place to take trades, which means even if you get a setup at a certain place, you should probably just ignore it and let it go, because that setup doesn't have a far way to go. And that will make you understand wave analysis much better. Silver, still in the consolidation, right? So we got this, we got a flag, and we're literally trying to go up now. So this might become a running flat. We'll confirm it as a running flat if we break the top. Very likely we might get a little consolidation here, break that top. And when we break that top, we're still left with the option of coming back here, because this becomes a very huge flat. So can it break out and continue to go up? That's possible. But if you look at the way the patterns are structured and you look at this previous correction here that came down, and you're looking at this and think, well, this looks very corrective. It can still go. It can still go and break the top here. But it's higher probability that they're going to break this top and make another drop here, even if they're going to go back up. So we will take this trade to break the top, and then we'll see whether it's a continuation or whether it's going to come down here. Once we see the setup for either of those, we'll be trading for a big trade either to the upside or a big trade to the downside. Gold pretty much downside. It's going up, but I think pretty much once we break this top, there's a very good chance we're going to continue to go down. So in gold, you got a flag here, we'll be selling. If we're going to be buying this, you would need a whole flat here. So you would need something like this for the buy. All you need for the sell is a flag like this for the sell. So flag for the sell, flat for the buy. The flat will take a long time to happen. Euro. Good. So we thought euro would spike to this level and go down back, because I was looking at this pattern as a 1, 2, 3 here. 1, 2, 3, equal size, come down back like this, and then go back. Well, it went a little higher. Basically, that has not changed the structure. All it did is make this wave a little bigger. Now, the only way we would look at this whole pattern differently, like probably, I don't know, maybe look at it like this, with this being a running flat in the middle here, and this being a 1, 2, 3 for upside, is if we break this top. And to break that up, we probably would need a consolidation here. So if we get a very good consolidation here, we would make the assumption that we are looking at this as a running flat, and this is going to go up. And this was all a correction. As of now, we're going to still assume that this is making a bigger flat here, and we're going to come back down here for one more, which means we're going to come back for this one. And we'll still have a flat pattern for upside. Because when you complete, if and when you complete this pattern, you're still going to go back up. So either this is the one going right now, or we're going to come back one more and then go. And if you have those two possibilities, then when you're in a trade, what that informs you is that you've got to watch this trade carefully not to take a loss on it. If it turns, you would have to make sure you're getting those turning features. You've got to see that structurally you're seeing something that looks like it's going to turn. And only then you can exit the trade and wait for the sell select. So, which is it going to be? Well, we'll see. Pong, definitely upside. And it's at the top. There's no reason why Pong cannot continue to go up. It could just make flags and go. We're buying Pong because Pong structurally is an upside. And this could continue to go for a long time before you even get any correction. So this might be all the correction. And they're going up, and then you make another correction and keep going up. Now, if they're going to come down from there, it'll probably be a move like this that makes a flat and then go. Say, for example, this one. See? It goes up, still come back down for this one, make a flat, and then go. So if we come back here, all we'll do is have a flat and upside. So downside is not changing. It's not changing to a downside structure. Still an upside structure. Aussie? Yep, Aussie on the other hand has more downside in it because this one actually pulled back pretty deep. So I'm expecting this to go break that up. And then from there, we would either stay in this sideways or we're going to drop here. And when we break this low, we'll decide if it's going back up or if it's going to continue to go down. And in terms of the bigger picture in Aussie, both of those are possible. You can drop and continue to come back here, or you can just break this low and go right back up. So go on the 1 hour. I know you're getting a buy setup. So at least there's one more impulse here. This one is kind of giving a buy setup for one more impulse. But once we break that up, we're literally going to be thinking downside because the higher probability will be downside because the depth of that pullback is what you'll have to look at. New Zealand. Well, we're in a sideways move, and I don't think there's any question of what this sideways move is going to do. We're probably going to be stuck in here for a while. I think there's a high probability we come back here, make a flat like this, go back up, maybe come back down here, and then a series of patterns like this before we go back up. So we'll be stuck in a sideways move for a while. And if we're stuck in this sideways move here for a while, so kind of, finish this, go back up, come back down here. And if we finish this flat, something like this, then we probably will be going up. So it all depends on how that flat completes itself. We'll be looking for upside. So the most immediate trade should be this short one. A short running flat coming back to the low. We'll put this like that. We're waiting for that as a flag to break out. It didn't break out. It actually went up. So now we'll see. I'll take this off because even if it's going to come here, we're going to expect a bigger flat in the middle. Yen. Yen going down. This was a sell. Take that off. That was a sell setup from there. We had a few sells in the yen going down because we already assumed that from this top here, yen could be starting that downside. Could be starting a very big move to the downside. So we might be coming back here. And it looks like it's coming pretty good, right? So I don't think this is the one we'll drop through the bottom. I think they're going to go back. We have two options here when it comes. When it gets here, there's a chance it go back up and then come down. Or it just keeps going, break the low, and then go back up. So we'll see which one. You wouldn't be able, both of those will be possible depending on how you look at the internals of these patterns. There are about 6 variations internally that you can look at. And all of the variations are going to be correct until this piece confirms one of them to be correct. Right? At the present moment, all of them are possible patterns. But once you get this, it is only going to confirm one piece. And one of those patterns will be correct. So any flag we get there will be a sell setup. Swiss. Yep, dropped. Didn't think it was going to break the low. I thought this would probably go back up. So we make the assumption that once it didn't go back up, that this was all a flat, that there was all a flat. Or for some reason, we're making a much more complex one, which means if we get any buy set up here, we're going to be trading this for an expansion, right? I don't know for a fact that it's an expansion. We wouldn't know that. There's nowhere you're going to ever know that. So put it back like this. And if this starts to go back up and we see buy setup, we will go for the expansion. If we don't have any buy setup, then we just wait for it to consolidate to the bottom here and sell it to retest this low. Because eventually it will retest the low in the bigger picture. And eventually we're coming to break this low and then go up. So come back on the 1 hour, wait for flag sell, wait for reversals buy. A reversal will be an impulse and a flag. CAD. Yep, CAD actually dropped. I thought that was an expanding flat. We were looking for one more up before it comes down, and it actually dropped from this point here, not from there. It actually dropped, so take this off. And now what we would have there is a very small flag at the top would be that would be a very small flag. This would be the impulse down. Now here's the thing. This could go one more low. Put it like this. We could absolutely go one more low from here, which means come back here and break the low again. Eventually, it's still going up. Right? I still think it's more upside structurally, but we'll see when it breaks the low. For the sell setup, you need a flag. If this is going to break out, you wanted to make a small flag here, like this. And then sell that flag for the breakout to break this low. And once the low is broken, you're going to move your stops very tight. Because if they want to go back up from here, that would be perfectly normal. All right, so let's see. Okay, I'm already in the euro, so I'll give an idea what we're looking for. So if you took this trade and we took that trade, that would be either a break even or a small loss, which will close here. The stop for that trade should be here. And now if it consolidates here, we'll look for a sell setup. Where would that take us if it's going to go lower? Well, nowhere much. I don't think we're trying to go down totally, but if they consolidate here and drop like this, you could probably still go back up. So the big picture is still upside, but short term, we're correcting what we already just passed this piece here. So expect a flag here and expect to sell. There's no flag here yet. This has to go back up. Probably even do a couple of this and then downside. And if you take this trade here, you would have to make sure you get out for break even should it decide to go back up from there. And let's go. We're going to look at natural gas. Well, if you're in this sell, you're probably closer to break even. It's not going. We might be even looking at a buy setup here. Right, if this is going to go back to the top. Something like this, 1, 2, 3. So let's see if we get any consolidation here for upside or for downside, and both trades are possible. US oil. That's a good buy. It's probably going to go a little more, and then we're expecting downside. So this was a buy. We can take that off. Now we're just expecting this to go a little more and then downside. So there's no buy setup in that. Once it comes down, we'll probably be going back up because we're in a big flat. UK oil, same thing. S&P 500, sorry, let me go. S&P 500. Okay, we're expecting this to drop. It didn't actually go. It actually went up and then it came back down. So if you had a sell here based on our thing, your stop should be here. If you take it under 15 minutes, you actually close it before it goes back. So now can we make an argument that this here is a bigger flat? 1, 2, 3, and we're coming down? Yeah, that makes sense. Wait for a flag here and sell. Wait for this to make a flag. Confirm downside and we'll go with that trade. Right, I think that would be a good trade if you get the consolidation there. US start, so NASDAQ, pretty much same thing. They actually made a pretty deep pullback here, but still downside. So wait for a sell setup, wait for a flag first. US 30. Actually, this one went up a little to make a big flat here. This one we are selling from the top here because structurally it's good from the top there. See, if you're selling from the top, you're coming back to retest this low. And that was a trade we took. Come back to retest this low. So let's see. What else we have? Nifty, for those of you who trade Nifty, wait for flag sell. DAX, if you want to trade a DAX, wait for corrections here and buy. If it makes a bigger one, it will take too long, so you may get the sell, but it's going to take a while. Bitcoin. Okay, so Bitcoin kind of break the top twice, keep dropping, and now we're literally going sideways. Take that off. We're going sideways here. So I'm not really sure if this is sideways is for upside or we're just making a bigger consolidation for downside. But what would be the buy setup? If you're going to take this trade here for a buy, so let's say you put an entry order there for this to go, but it actually just start to do this, take a trade out, because then we're going to drop. See? But can you put an entry order for a sell? Absolutely. As long as it breaks the top, you will be able to manage it on the way down. Looks more like a sell setup right now. Ethereum, same thing. Ethereum looks like a sell setup. I think we can agree that this is a big flat here. That was a sell. This looks like a sell. Wait for a sell setup. XRP. It looked both ways. This looks like it can, this piece looks like they can go up, and this piece definitely looks downside. I think you can try to see which one tag first, the down or the up. I think the downside is likely going to tag first. And technically both sides is going to play out. Aussie, sorry. ADA, I said I was going to say Aussie. ADA looks more upside. This piece here definitely looks like you're going to go somewhere, because I think we can make an argument we've got it flat. Or they're going to come break the top, come sharp, and then we're making a bigger flat. But it's still going up, so buy setups are good. LTC, short term looks downside. Look for sell setups. Sorry, Sol USDT. I was looking to see whether we have the USD. We have the USDT. It's actually going sideways. So that sideways should be upside. There's a good chance this could break out and take off. So keep your eye on it. This is actually a very good one for buy setups. I can actually put it for buy setups so you know. And let's see. BNB, sell setup. No questions. This is a sell setup. This definitely has a sell setup for downside. And the last one, Dodge. No, we have two more, sorry. Dodge. It's going up, but the structure is downside. So you're kind of going up, and eventually drop. Okay, this definitely could go up some more. This could go up some more here because there's a nice flag forming, and it looks like we're coming from the bottom, so the upside is very likely. Let's see. Yep. We're stuck here in the sideways. So this could drop and then go back up, or they could just go right now. So both of those are possible. And I think that just covered everything that we did. So there's a lot, there's a lot more patterns we haven't looked at, but if you want to get them live, if you want to see all those patterns and see the trade setup and watch how we analyze the chart, send me a Skype message. Let me remind you about that again. Skype message, let me type MANGAL 457. Send me a message. I'll give you all the details, how to join the course, how to join the installment program, what you're going to get when you do it. So if this is your thing, go ahead, send a message. If not, then don't waste your time, because you'll be wasting a lot of our time as well. So there are a lot of traders who join who have already completed about 3 or 4 or 5 courses before they came to the group, and most times they just stick around here for the rest of the time, because This is what helps you actually figuring out. This is what gives you an edge in the market. And I explained it while we were doing the live session. I explained that in 2 or 3 videos. It's all about what gives you the edge in the market. And if you have some method that says, okay, this one confirms that the possibility of it going down is higher. It confirms the higher probability, well, then you take the trade. Basic stuff. So this week I'll be putting out 1 or 2 videos, but they wouldn't be, maybe a little bit on the update of the trades you're looking at, but mostly some kind of, I don't know, wave analysis stuff. And one of the topics I want to talk about, because I've seen it so much in the ads, especially as soon as I open YouTube, you know, the ads are saying, well, you know, you just have to trade 15 minutes a day and you'll be a millionaire. Literally. Right? Like learn this one strategy, use this 4 given rules or whatever. You know, it's definitely not that simple. So I want to put that out there in a video to warning traders that it's not that simple. If it was that simple, 99% of the traders would be successful. The stats is the opposite. Only about 10% of traders are actually making money. And that is at any given one time. It's not a standard that equates that all of those 10% would be successful to the end. Maybe at the end of it, after you take a very long period, there will be 5 or 6%. I don't know. We don't have the stats of that because we haven't tracked people for years. But you can see it, right? You can watch the method, decide which method works best for you, more comprehensive in how they analyze the chart and where you think it's going to go, what creates your bias and what sustains the bias. Because you might create the bias and now in 10 minutes you heard something else and the bias change. But if you have a system that says, that goes through the process and said, okay, if this, then only I'll take the trade. You don't have to worry about it. Your headache is just being reduced by a lot. So if you like to understand and become independent trading wave analysis, send me a message. Otherwise to that, trade with care. Have a successful week ahead of you. And see all of you next week. Take care. Bye.